What's up, everybody? This is your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. You guys get to go with me on the road as I get ready to go to DC and Maryland. And we're going to be focused on the road, so won't be looking over here that much. But here's how I want to start this one off today. A lot of people are concerned about a recession. They're like, a recession's coming on. I'm gonna wait till the recession till I'm gonna buy up everything. No, you're not. You're not buying up everything at the end of the recession. You got to be in the game before that. And a lot of people aren't telling you that. But the reason I wrote this book, Smartphone Millionaire book, is because there's ways to get into the game. Bits and pieces at a time. You know, if you take $100 and send it out there to work for you, that's winning. You know, a lot of times people will call me and go, I got $1,000 and I want to make it into $1 million. Well, we can do that. But that's going to take a few years and a few flips and a few other things. You got to realize it's not just a one and done, this magical flip microwave mentality, or I'm going to spend $1,000 on Facebook ads and it's going to get me all the answers I need in the world and make me all the money I ever need to make. That's just not going to happen, all right? So before we even get this kicked off, one, let's definitely hit that super chat button, because you guys love me so much, right? Let's just donate $2 to the channel today. I'd appreciate that, because not every one of you is going to get the Smartphone Millionaire book. Not every one of you is going to do tax liens. Not every one of you is going to get a consulting call or credit repair. But you can donate $2 to the channel below hitting the super chat. And it's just the $sign. Click it and hit it. And I appreciate that. So anyway, back on our topic today. A lot of people are like, hey, Erica, what's up? We got to go. We want to go buy a bunch of properties. We want to flip. We want to do all this stuff this year. And I go, okay, cool. I like what you're doing. I like what you're saying. I feel you. If anybody feels you, I feel you if I hear you. But ladder it up, dude. That's why I wrote the Ladder Income book. That's why I wrote the Smartphone Millionaire book. Send $100 at a time and send it out there to work for you. You get into the environment of deals. You know, you get into the environment of connecting, right? Like you're going to say, okay, well, I want to go buy rentals all in Orlando, Florida. What's the first thing I'm going to do? I'm going to start going to RIA groups. I'm going to start going on Bigger Pockets. I'm going to start connecting with people. I'm going to start seeing who I can talk to and who I can connect with, who is actually doing real estate in that part of Florida, wherever I'm at. If that's Orlando, it's Orlando. That's where I want to focus. That's where I'm going to start connecting with people. Because those people are going to know more people, and et cetera, et cetera. At any given time, when people say they want to be involved in real estate, they want to flip houses, 3 contractors, 3 real estate attorneys, you need to have at least 2 plumbers on call, because what if your one plumber back goes out? You need to have a backup guy that you can call that's going to work with you and give you rates and deals that are best for you. Because a lot of times people know that one guy that hooks them up. But what if that one guy's busy that day? What if that one guy can't go to that side of town? And there's something about building your Rolodex of people who you can reach out and connect to. Thank you, Angela. Jamaica. Thank you. I appreciate it. The super chat. There should be a Rolodex of people you can reach out to who can hit you up and be like, hey, I found this deal. Boop, boop, boop. You should have people on dial. Now, through the second week of May, I'm going to be in Detroit, Michigan. I'm going to look at some auction properties. I'm going to look at some properties that the group I'm investing with is investing in that area. I'm going to be looking for contractors, because I want to put feet on the ground and talk to people, look them in the eye. I just don't want to do over the phone. I want to reach out and connect with people. Why? Because when you connect with people, they remember that chick flew in from Texas to connect with us to do business. And I'm going to put her on my list of people who are serious about buying real estate, investing in my area. Now, there's people in New York. There's people in Florida. There's all kind of people all over the place saying, I want to buy Detroit. Well, I put on this channel, let's go ahead and get rid of T Hill. Let's go ahead and block him if we can there. Let's go ahead and do that. Put user in a timeout. That'll work for us today. So what we're going to do is we're going to connect with people who are trying to actually buy stuff, who are actually trying to do stuff, who aren't just coming on here throwing shade and not doing anything productive with their life. So get off the video if you're not doing anything productive with your life. So the key here is, in order to connect with people, in order to be in that Rolodex of people, in order to say, hey, I want to really get out there and do deals, we have to actually be out in it producing. We have to actually be out there contributing. Now, I'm not saying everybody going out at your local events and try to buy real estate. What I am saying, what can you do out of this book? We put countless different ways you could do it in this book. Countless. Now, some of you may be like, nah, I'm going to stick with flea markets. I'm going to stick with Amazon. I'm going to stick with eBay. Whatever it is you do, can you raise it up? Can you get an extra 1,000 a month? Can you get an extra 500 a month? What can you do? What can you do to kind of like increase your income? Because it's the increasing your income and then push over that extra income, that spillover. Like imagine a cup and it's spilling over, right? The extra income is spilling over, and some people, they're going to buy new TVs, they're going to buy new clothes, they're going to go on vacations, they're going to go to Europe, they're going to do silly stuff with it. But you should take that spillover and have a place for it to go. That's why I wrote the book. Those are places I put 25 when I got it, 100 when I got it, 1,000 when I got it, in those places. A lot of people are like, oh, I've got 20 different streams of income, or I've got 20 different things paying me. But they didn't tell you how they started. How they started is little increments. They didn't start out buying a house right off the gate. They didn't start out buying a semi truck right out the gate. They didn't start out buying thousands of dollars of stuff from China. The video I did a couple days ago, you probably see a week or so ago, where I showed you the cups, ordering from Alibaba or AliExpress, where I showed you buying the mugs, the tins, all the different things you could buy for a low price. But look at the shipping time. The shipping time is 12 days to 20 days. So you got to either be really committed to that particular item. Now, they have small amounts. They had small batches where you could buy like 100 or something for like 95 cents or $1 or $3. But again, the example I showed you was Nick Bear's company, where, he's got these cups, but the whole ideal of that company is an adventure, right? They have flannel, they got coffee, they got cups, they got mugs, they got tumblers. And it went within the theme of that. Now, they're going to get him from China for $1 and some change plus shipping. And then they're going to get their stuff etched on them, wherever it is, whoever they know locally can etch it on there. I mean, there's companies that do that. And then they're selling those products for like $30. And they're controlling the shipping. They're not using Amazon for that part of the company. So automatically, when someone says, how do people, do $100 a day or $200 a day? Stuff like that. Examples out of that video. That is a prime example of shipping, right? Of how to make money that way, how to make money reselling, how to make money creating a company from scratch. Because those guys have an Instagram page, and they're going to promote, they're going to take cool angles and pictures. People are like, you know what? I want that cup. Boom, click, they buy the cup, they ship. You know what I mean? And all you got to sell, like, let's be honest, they just sell 3 cups a day. That's $100, plus shipping. Then you do that every day, 30 days, that's $3,000. That's just one part of their company. It's just one part of their company. Why is that? Because that's how people win. Little increments at a time. Bumping it up at a time. They're creating a passive income stream right there. We've talked about books. We've talked about courses. We talked about another video, coloring books, adult coloring books. So many people would go in Alex Becker's channels and all these Shopify people's channels and say, what about adult coloring books? What about adult coloring books? I took you step by step through the previous video. How to make adult coloring books. How to put them up. How to send them out to shop, create a space. Now all you got to do is worry about your marketing. That's something that Amazon's going to print, Create Space is going to print off, and Amazon's going to ship. And you don't got to worry about it. But a lot of people are trying to look for these magical flips where they take $100 and turn it into $1 million, when it's literally step by step adding new things into the stream. Not overdoing it, not going crazy. That's just how it is. That's right, Apple Mac, AliExpress. Now that was the thing I did in the video. I showed you the prices on AliExpress, trying to keep my eyes on the road. AliExpress versus Alibaba. The difference was I could go get 100 of them for $1, or I can go through AliExpress and get it for $3, $8, $20, right? If I just needed one. But many of you, when you talk about, well, I just want to use Teespring, Erica, I don't want to have any inventory in my house. That's to me, you're only going to make $6 to $8 that way. When you're shipping it from your house, which a lot of you won't have like crazy massive orders at the beginning, they're going to make 25, almost 30 shipping t-shirts, right? You know what I mean? Not that big of a margin, but it depends. It depends on, you know, the t-shirt or the hoodie or whatever you're doing. And people don't want to do that. People don't want to do the work. They don't want to mail stuff. And that's what cracks me up, because people don't like the post office, and I get that. But that's where the money is. When I go to the post office, because I do about 25 to 50, some crazy weeks we'll have 100 certified mail. I still personally do it. I go in there, and the post office lady knows who I am in Austin. We talk, the whole staff knows me. And the difference is, it's just, you're just in a system. You're creating a system. And some people say, well, no, I want to automate it. You can't automate something you don't have. If you haven't started anything, what are you automating, right? So that's why my whole point of talking about the Smartphone Millionaire book, and starting with just, if it's just $25, if it's just $50. The other day we talked about on the channel, I posted the video of investing in veterans business. Many of you are like, yo, I want to be about the veterans. I want to invest in business loans. There you go, $25. Now, from what I read off the website, and I actually just finished signing up with them, sending out $25, it's going to sit in like I would say a CD style for a year. End of the year, you get your 5% interest, and the money comes back. Now, you can reinvest it and do whatever you like. There you go. But a lot of people just don't understand that. They just don't understand that it has to start somewhere, and you have to put some skin in the game. That's why I'm going to Detroit. You know, I'm talking about Todd Capital Group. I'm on the real estate investing side. You know, I want to put skin in the game. You know what I mean? If you want to put skin in the game, you got to actually do something. You got to be a part. You got to be participating. The reason I asked for $2 super cash today is because there are people who have been here for a year, 2 years, 3 years. Putting $2 in is like tip jar, right? Thank you, SB, for buying the book. The thing of it is it's just showing that you have skin in the game. When you don't spend any money, when you don't do any investments, when you don't make any changes, it's like, well, this is great information, this is great ideals, this is good stuff to talk about, but you haven't taken any action. The whole purpose of this channel is for people to take action and people to connect. I cannot tell you how many times I've gone to RIA groups, meetup groups, apartment investing company, and seen nothing but immigrants in there. Everybody in the room is an immigrant except for maybe 10 white guys and 2 black people and me. And I'm sitting there like, why are people not in here? Why are people not in here? Because you know what? They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear about investing as a group. They don't want to hear about apartment investing. But that's where the winners are. That room was full of winners. Every person I almost talked to in there was either a doctor, a lawyer, a dentist, owned their own business. This one guy he was a plumber, but he had 10 rental properties. And he was just a 50-something-year-old white guy who was like, you know what? I'm tired of, what did he say? I'm tired of investing in single-family houses in the hood of Dallas. I'm not even joking. He said like that. He's like, I want to go to an apartment. I want to be in a group. Thank you, Cashmatic. I appreciate the super chat. I want to go and invest with a group of people who are like-minded. And that's why the reason I go to those events, that's the reason I join those events. You know, I'm thinking of doing kind of a PDF to kind of show you all 25 things that I'm like hitting and investing with personally. But I don't know. I have to figure out how to do it so that my information is protected. Thank you so much, Ty Hall. I appreciate it. Thank you for the super chat. $10. You're awesome. I mean, the reason I'm saying is because we're all here and we're all putting our skin in the game. You know, I love doing the phone calls with you guys, but everybody's not going to get on the phone. I love producing books and courses, but everything's not for everybody. Do you know what I'm saying? Some of you are just going to get on this video and enjoy the videos, and I appreciate that. The key, though, is some type of action. You have to find some type of action that's better for you. Now, many of you say, well, nah, Erica, I just want to start a business and make more money. Okay, well, what happens in the recession? What happens when business gets tight? The difference between business owners that go out and go under is not just lack of funding and lack of capital. They have no reserve. When you got a guy or girl who is completely wiped out, like they have no money, equity they can take out of their house, no equity they can take out of their cars, that's when a business goes under. And that's the reason investing is so important. When you look at two people, a guy or girl, there's a girl channel here on YouTube. I'm going to see if I can link it up here. Or put in the comments, she made 40 grand a year for 3 years. Now, for 6 months out of those 3 years, she stayed at her parents' house. She saved $100,000. Many people are like, that's crazy. Lyndon does say ask for the money. And she saved $100,000. Why? Because she was just like, I see other people do it. I hear Dave Ramsey say people can do it. I can do it. And she put that money away. She put that money away in investments. Let's be clear. And many of you could do it too. I keep telling y'all the average time for someone to get out of debt when they listen to Dave Ramsey and do the Dave Ramsey program is less than 2 years. There was a black guy on there. He paid $150,000 off in 15 months. And they were like, what happened? He got a brand new, like, almost Lamborghini-like car or something crazy. And within 2 weeks, it wrecked. And he still had to pay it off. The insurance paid him a certain part, but he still had to pay his part too. And accidents happen. And what I'm saying is, you got to have some of this passive income coming before this recession starts. Some of you are like, well, I'm going to wait. I'm going to cash in at the end. I'm going to wait till everybody starts stuff. Right now, I was on Car Gurus earlier today before I left to get on the road. There was trucks. There were dualies. I don't know if y'all know what dualies are. If you don't, I'm going to give you the best example I can say is like, it's like a Dodge Ram. Ever see a Dodge Ram 450 or whatever, and it can tow. The back of it's like a flatbed. Or it's just like a big diesel truck, but a lot of them have like no back. It looks like a big towing component on the back. Anyway, those dualies, brand new, sometimes are $40,000. They had dualies on there today for 15, 20 grand, 21 grand. And why is that? Because 9 times out of 10, if some guy just buys one dually, and he gets the E&O insurance, and he's the main one towing cars or doing transportation, if something goes wrong, or he goes down or he gets sick, he don't have no backup, that slows the business down. Hence why I'm taking a course on how to be an owner-operator. Now, I already told you I have uncles who own trucks and are truck drivers, but 1 or 2 of them owns trucks. But they are not the best teachers. They'll say something and be like, don't you understand what I'm saying? No, I don't understand what you're saying. Explain it better. But they're not the best teachers. So if I'm missing something, I'm willing to pay. So I went to Hood Estates and went ahead and paid. Why? Because they bought a truck. They don't drive a truck. They got a driver and a third-party contractor taking care of their business. And every week they get a check, about $1,900, $2,000, and they have to cut the driver a piece and they get a piece. They didn't hit the road not once. They got money in their pocket. You see what I'm saying? I want to tell you there's ways to create passive income out here. There's ways to create passive income out here. Now, President France, congratulations. I think cryptos are important. Do I think they're as important as getting hard, tangible assets you can touch? No. And here's why. I know people get mad when I talk about cryptos, but at the end of the day, I think people don't even have the basics. When you go on Facebook and people who are on Section 8, driving cars with rims on them, are talking about Bitcoin, I already know. I'm like, they don't understand the level of what this could be. And for people in the marketplace to say, just buy it anyway, that's wrong. If you're watching this channel, I want you to be educated. I want you to read this or read the 16% Solution or read any other book. And I want you to kind of educate yourself on what's the best place to be. Just because I say a website, I love the comments when I would say, oh, go to Lending Club. Well, Lending Club had changed for new people. They had to drop 1,000 in. I didn't know that. But you guys actually went and tried it. And to me, that is the testament of you wanting more and wanting better and wanting to get your interest off your money. So, the thing of it is you have to understand what you're investing in, and you have to understand, okay, this is what I understand of this concept. Can I do this every day? Okay, I can drop $25 in the Lending Club every day. Okay, I can drop $25 in for veterans businesses and get my money back in a year. I can drop $5 off here or $5 off there. I can buy silver and touch it. I can buy a land lot. I can buy a piece of land in Texas for $2,000 for an acre. I can do those things. Those things make sense to me. I can understand those concepts. And I only want y'all investing in concepts you can understand. Because what's going to happen is you're going to have a lot of people who don't think the recession is going to touch them. Maybe they work at Dell. Maybe they work at these big companies. But they're not an engineer. Maybe they're somebody who works with engineers or they work around tech. So they just assume that's not going to hit me. None of that stuff is going to hit me. And you do not know that. You do not know what careers might take a pinch in the recession. But you shouldn't be dependent on that. What the saddest thing I've ever seen in Austin is when I meet people in their 50s and 60s who say, oh, I used to work at Dell back in the day, and they're working somewhere they don't want to be, working in some job they don't like. And when you talk to them, it's because they didn't invest. There's nothing cool about making $100K a year, and if they fire you, now you got to pick your wife up and your children up and you got to move and leave. That's not cool. That's not cool, man. That doesn't work, you know? Thomas Jackson, if you feel inspired to write a book, do it. Write your book. That is another form of passive income. You know what's in your head. If you have a skill you want to share with people, write a book. I have a course on how to be living as an author. Because some of you are great at editing papers. Some of you are great at writing papers. Some of you can make a lot of money. From college kids, all kind of people. People trying to get their master's degrees. I know one young man who didn't write one paper. He had people writing his papers for him and paid very well for it. You know, I know one young lady, I can't say her name, but I talked to her on the channel. She was making $2,000 a month writing papers and basically helping people with their online courses. I'm just going to say it like that. I'm just going to say that girl got plenty of degrees, but not literally, okay? Now, do things that are ethical. Do things that make sense for you. Do things that are safe. I'm not going to tell you to do anything crazy. But the key here is you got to put skin in the game. I got to put skin in the game. In order to learn new things, learn new websites to go invest in. You know, the veterans website, drop 100. All right, now 4 veterans are going to get a loan, a piece of money that goes to a loan that helps them, right? Same thing goes to Lending Club. Okay, boom, I dropped that $25. Now that person can pay their debt off, get their house remodeled, help their business grow. So you're becoming the bank and making interest off it, making 18% interest, 15% interest, 12% interest. Now, many of you were like, well, 5% interest off investing in veterans business? Yes, that's beautiful. You know why? Because they're not trying to make the skin off the back of the veteran. They're just trying to make a good loan that works for you and works for the veteran. Now, there's countless crowdfunding sites out there. And many of you see it, well, like, I really want to flip a house. Well, then go on the application site and see what they need. See what you need to apply in order to qualify for that. That's just the truth. If you're like, well, I really want to flip a house instead of just investing my money, well, go see what the requirements are for you to apply on that. Because many people were talking about these things, but they ain't doing much. And if I see you in a year or two, there should be progress in your life. Does that make sense? Like, we should be able to see something. You know, you ain't got to be moved to a mansion, but you ought to be able to have some season progress for yourself. And that's also why I'm thinking about doing that list of the 25 things I personally invested in, like what's the percentage and the returns. Because I think people don't believe it unless they see it, but I don't know how to particularly do it in a great way. So there's some courses I'm finishing up, but I just want you guys to think on that. I really think we're in an economy push where some of y'all are going to be caught off guard. You're going to be caught off guard because it's just like, boom. Now, everybody who's from a military town, Fayetteville, Fort Bragg, Fort Hood, any military town, stand up, right? They are in a bubble. Now, why are they in a bubble? Because every 2 weeks, these soldiers are guaranteed money. They're guaranteed benefits, BAH for housing. So those areas seem to do a little well, regardless of what's going on. It's a war or recession. But I've seen towns during war where all the wives go home to their families because they don't want to be in some new town by themselves. So they go home to be with their families. And I understand it. So you have to brace yourself for any kind of change in your environment. And what does that mean? That means observing. If your town's on the edge or you live in a side of town that's a little rough, when this recession comes, okay, are you alert? Are you paying attention? And what I mean when I say alert and paying attention, 1 is for crime, right? Crime, rates going up. But 2, investing opportunities. I have seen multiple people go, and I'm going to tell you this, when people look for motivated sellers, 9 times out of 10, they're looking for the nosy neighbor. Now, what does that mean? I remember this lady complaining about her neighbor house is vacant and the bushes are bad, and like she's giving me the rundown. I'm like, well, how long has it been empty? 10 months, and it don't make no sense. It's so dirty. Now her yard is perfectly manicured. Her husband's in his late 50s. No, he was like late 60s, and he could have easily pushed the lawnmower over a little bit, clean up that yard, but he didn't have to. It's not their yard, not their responsibility. But I got every bit of information I needed on that property from that lady. And that's how most motivated sellers find their information. They be sending letters, the mail comes back, they skip tracing trying to find the person. But that nosy neighbor, she know what's up. But the sad part is, instead of her just complaining about the house being empty beside her and her husband's house is paid off, she could have invested in the house beside her. But see, people don't think like that. They see something as a problem, not as a way to create a solution. And I've told you about my cousin who owns their houses around his mother here in Fayetteville. Create a solution. You can't just create a problem. You can't just poop on the table and go, there's poop on the table. That doesn't work. You have to put skin in the game. You have to say where you can add value. Some of you will send me messages like, hey, I know where this deal is. And I'm like, okay, you want to go in half? Nah, I ain't got no money. What are you doing? You watching the channel? Thank you I love it when you give me the deals or suggest me to look at somebody or call somebody's house. But I want you to win too. That's right. Apple Mac, she being nosy, and she could have just cut the grass. And people, part of her complaint was people are always over here asking about that house. They're always over here trying to see if that house is for sale. I wish she would have never did that. And I'm like, dude, okay, like what are you whining about, right? So, because people do knock the door. That's what door knocking is. When you door knock for some of these vacant properties, you go knock on the neighbor's door and you say, do you know who that is? Have you seen them? And the first thing out their mouth is like, nah, but you know what? That house has been raggedy all this time. And it's like, all you had to do is buy it yourself. You know what I mean? Go downtown, check on the property taxes for it. That's the crazy part to me. And a part of the reason I want to go to Detroit is I'm hearing funny stories from people about a lot of black people are riding around in nice cars, but they're not buying these properties that are like $1 grand and $2 grand and $3 grand. Now, of course, people are say, well, Erica, you don't understand. These properties need 10, 15 grand to get them fixed up. Yeah, but you're driving a $40,000 vehicle around Detroit with no ownership. You know what I mean? That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. You know, that's another reason I'm saying ask for the money, ask for the money. Ask your neighbor what's up. Find out about these deals that are near you. Instead of just complaining your neighborhood is going down in value, what are you doing about it? There's a guy in one of the neighborhoods in Fayetteville. I'll say it anyway. It's Foxfire neighborhood. You can look it up on your own. And what he did is he has 6 homes in that neighborhood. Because when houses would go under or taxes or something, he would be downtown all the time being nosy, and he purchased them. And one day I saw him cutting grass at various houses. And just walking by, I asked about Mr. Quick. Y'all won't know Mr. Quick. Y'all won't be able to find Mr. Quick. That's just what I'm calling him. Mr. Quick. They asked about Mr. Quick. Why is Mr. Quick cutting grass at all these different people's houses? Oh, Mr. Quick owns all 4 of these houses. He ain't just cutting the grass for the lady there because he retired and needs something to do. He owns that house, and he don't want the houses looking raggedy. So he personally cuts the grasses. And that right there, y'all, was like mind-blowing, because I saw Mr. Quick all day sitting around his yard, cleaning up his yard, doing stuff in his backyard, doing stuff in his garage. He was a retired veteran. And I'm like, man, Mr. Quick needed to get something to do. Then he was like a school crossing guard. He'd be having to sign out. Mr. Quick had a lot to do all day. He found things to do. But when I saw him cutting grass, I was like, what is happening? And just like that, put on game. Mr. Quick owns these properties. He has pride in these properties. He will personally come cut the grass if the owner does not cut the grass. Because he had 2 of the houses, I remember when I ride my bike by him, had old ladies. And then 2 had like single moms. I think that was. So a little Mr. Quick had a wife. He was kind of flirty though. I was like, all right now, sir, watch yourself. But that's the thing. He peeping on game. If you're going to be in your neighborhood all day being nosy, you need to be able to go look on the property tax website for your county. You look on there for your taxes. Go look on there for that house that's vacant in your neighborhood. You can easily mail a letter to your neighbor and say, are you willing to sell? And don't offer them what you think it should be. Don't offer them, well, I got 80 grand for my house. No. Offer them 30. I'm telling you, people are willing in desperate times, desperate measures to get rid of something, take 20 and 30 grand. They just are. They very much are. Now, many of you, that's going to lead you into a question about liens and mortgages, but we'll talk about that in another video. The key here is when we're talking about building passive passive streams of income before the recession comes. There's options online and there's options offline. You know what I'm saying? So let's try and keep it simple. Trying to keep my eyes on the road. Erica Nicole, you know that neighborhood? What? Girl, get out of here. What's up, Judy Joseph? Apple Mac. That's my point. When people see the homes are running down into the ground, quickly could have went over there, cut the grass, and keep the riffraff out. Now, what do I mean the riffraff? I mean guys or girls who are going to damage vacant homes. Now, if they're going to break into that home, they're bold enough to break into that vacant home while they over there because you don't care and you don't care what goes on beside the house beside you, they will come back and break into your home. So keep your neighborhood up, be neighborhood watch. I know people don't want to hear that, but that's just the truth. Angela Mike, it's true in Detroit they have programs that will finance the money to buy and fix the home. Yeah, folks don't want to take a look. I'll give you a prime example. Here in Austin, Texas, I'm in North Carolina right now, but when I was in Austin, Texas, they had programs that were really geared towards poverty-stricken women and people in Section 8 and people in the projects. That the city of Austin would give you 10 grand at the time. It's 10 grand. Now it's 15 grand. Down payment money to buy a house. Because they knew, according to numbers and statistics, once you got out of the system and bought your own home and lived in your own home, you didn't come back to the system. You didn't come back for welfare. You didn't come back for food stamps. You didn't come back. You left and you were out of the system. They have charts and graphs to know this. But tell me why when I went to the class, there was nothing but immigrants in there, Asians, Hispanics, and some white college kids in there taking that class. Because all you had to do was take this 2-hour information class, right? And it was kind of like cleaning your credit, your home, value, equity, kind of giving you the heads up so you know what you're doing when you buy a home. And when I asked, I thought this program was for poor people, just checking. What is this, program? It seems like a lot of white college kids were here. And the lady goes, every year we send out letters to every single person in the projects. We send out letters to every single person we can think of that are in the system and ask them to come to these classes, and only on average 1 to 3% come. Let me say that again. They send out letters to everybody in the city who are on the system, whether it's welfare, it's getting assistance, living in the projects, living in Section 8. Hey, come to this free class and you can get the $15,000 down home payment assistance, however you want to say it, down payment assistance to get into a home. And only 1 to 3% even respond to the letter or go to the class. I mean, if that don't blow your mind, I don't know what will, because I'm sitting in there and there's Asian foreigners in there. There's Vietnamese kids who are there on student visas. So they didn't even need to be in there because I don't even know how they were going to legally get a home. Just being honest. And then there was some white college kids in there who, let's be honest, if you leave college, you could put it on the notes. I'm poor college kid. I got this down payment home and assistance, but I also got this offer letter for a job. So now you're taking advantage of this system, this down payment, and getting in a home. So the people it was created for aren't even using it to their advantage. And that's what's crazy to me. It's what's crazy to me. So the key here with all this is, how do you create passive income? You got to put skin in the game. You got to take action. All these examples I'm giving you are where I personally went and said, I want to know about something, and I'm going to find out about it. I'm one of those kids, when you grow up, you're like, why should I not touch the hot iron? I don't know why. Tell me why. And then they tell me, and I go, like, okay. But I like to know the information and take action. I don't want to just wait. I don't want to just read books and don't do anything. You got to take action, y'all. It's so crazy. Let me see what you got here. Walter, you need a business plan? I don't know. Do you need a business plan? Have you sold anything? I don't know what you're needing a business plan for. Yes, Apple Mac. So Apple Mac, the whole thing about Detroit, which is crazy to me, is sometimes you have to board up the house till it's like right then rented. You have to put all these security systems up to protect yourself. And I don't know why the connection keeps going in and out, but it's tripping. Let's see. Yeah, I believe that, Apple Mac, about Detroit. So Apple Mac is saying basically people take over a block. They take over a street, they take over a block, and pistol carriers. Now, what is an old pistol carrier? Old pistol carrier is that older black guy in the neighborhood who's like neighborhood watch. He's like, pull your pants up. Get on out of here. Scram. You need that guy. You need that guy in your life. You need that guy in your neighborhood. Mr. Quick, I don't think he was going to shoot anybody, but he definitely was watching people as they went by. So the key here is, a lot of people keep telling me they're going to get started once the recession hit. You don't even know when the recession hit if you're not in the marketplace. Now, this is an example of how I know we're going into recession. I am in Austin, Texas. I used to be a realtor. I was about to redo my real estate license, update my stuff, which you still can make your money. Let me not get it twisted. Let me make it very clear. If you want to get your real estate license in Texas and you still want to make money, you can make money. You can still make money. The opportunity is there. You will be fine. But here's the deal. Right now, I'm in a brand new apartment complex. Brand new. They cannot get it over 40% people in there. Brand new. Sitting empty. They built a brand new one beside us, sitting empty. Brand new behind us, sitting empty. They got 40 other buildings just like it, sitting empty. Now, what do I call sitting empty? 30% occupancy. 1 in 3 buildings is full. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. And no matter how many incentives they offer, free rent they're offering. So the economy is coming to a slow. It isn't going to shut down because everybody knows what happens in the summer in Texas. Everybody and their mama moves to Texas in the summer. Students come for the internships. People come and move there in the summer because they want to move to Texas. And what happens is, apartments will be like this. It'll be hard to get again. And that's what I know they're banking on. They're banking on the summer in Texas. When people move there, a lot to make their money back. But that's what's happening. I'm on the ground and I'm in it. So when people tell me, I'm going to just wait till it crashes to get in it, honey, it's already crashing in some places. If you were on realtor.com, like I tell you guys to check out realtor.com in your areas, you will see a downward trend. Like I was in looking at homes, and in Austin for a while, everything was 230, 250, 280. You couldn't get lower. Right now, you're having 180 pop up, 199, 200 pop up. And as soon as they pop up, they're already pending. There's already people already on it. There's already contingent offers. There's already backed up stuff. Now, why? Why is that happening? Because the high, A properties is that it's like tight. It's like, look, it's like here. You don't have that many engineers. You don't have that many people making 10 grand a month. You don't have that many married couples who can qualify for some of those places that you are building. So they're going to have to take a cut. Now, they can either take a cut willingly, or they can let the marketplace force some of those apartment complexes in Austin to take a cut. Now, what does that mean? When I used to work in an apartment office and we had like 30 apartments open up all of a sudden, it made our numbers look bad. We offer a special. Like, hey, we'll give you 1 month off. Hey, we'll waive application fees. Come on in the door, trying to get you in here. That's what that is. That is offers and incentives. Trying to get people in there to sign a lease. They're doing that right now. They're already doing it all over Austin. Offering people a free month. Offering people no application fees. Just come on in, move in. And you know what's happening? The money's not there. People are not going to pay $1,000 for that. They're like, I'll pay $900. I'll pay $800, but I ain't going to pay $1,000. So that's how I already know we're in a shortening, like a slowdown, a tightening of the marketplace, a going down. But if you weren't watching me talk about this in Austin, you think everything's rosy. You won't know about it till 5 years from now. Another prime example of why you have to be in it to actually think you're going to profit from it. Prime example is there's an article. You can look this up on your own. Thank you for the likes, you guys. I appreciate that. Hit that like button. You can look it up on your own. It's called Forbes Boom Towns, BOOM towns. Now, what is that about? Forbes lists 16 boom towns. And I know as a realtor, as a real estate investor, as a person who is in not one but 3 real estate investing groups, actually knowing this stuff, studying this stuff, being on the ground. Sorry, this semi-truck's hitting brakes. But anyway, on the ground, that every one of those towns on that 16 list of the boom towns in that list, they already been booming for 5 to 10 years. Nashville was on the list. Nashville's been booming for 8 years. Austin was on that list. Austin's been booming for 10 years. They had other cities. They had Tampa on the list. I'm like, Tampa's been booming for years. A lot of the places they had on that list had already been booming. And if you, the novice, who's like, I'm going to sit on the sidelines and I'm going to invest my money when the crash happens, you're already paying high payments. You're already paying retail price. You're not getting wholesale value. You're not getting the discounts because you're waiting for the news to tell you that, and the news is not trying to predict bad news right now. They're only trying to predict good news. So I really have to get that out there because so many times people are like, I'm going to sit on the sidelines. Now, what you should be doing is increasing your income. At all times, increasing your income so that you have more money, so that the extra spillover money can go into real estate, can go into these passive streams of incomes, can create things that will keep paying you during the recession. But if you think that you're going to come at the end, or you're going to see a newspaper article about, oh my God, Denver's a great place to buy. When I saw the thing about Denver, I busted out laughing because I know actual people who live in Denver. They've been there 5 years, and the house that they were living in is already appreciated $300,000 worth. And it won't that great when they move there. So when people tell me they're going to wait till the recession hits for them to invest, I laugh in their face because I think it's hilarious. Now, will people be on sale? Will business be on sale? Will things be on sale? Hell yeah. They'll be on sale. They'll be on sale everywhere. But will they be on sale like they're on sale as we start to dig into that bad boy? Nope. Like even enough, like I know people who have bought houses in Austin. There's one in the neighborhood where my friend's selling her house. They bought it and it was high. Everybody's like, that's too high. Bought it, painted it, put new windows on it, and sold it for even more. 50 grand more. I can't remember, 50 or 70 grand more. They bought it for 320, sold it for 400. About 80. There's an 80 spread there. But the key of the point is they knew that the market was doing this. Push. And how did they know that? They've been having their eye on that neighborhood. They've been in the game for a while. They're not somebody on the sideline talking, I got 200 grand. I've been waiting all this day. Like, dude, you're going to get suckered. You're going to get freaking suckered. And I laugh because right now I can Google Austin, Google capital companies in Austin. Now, what do I mean capital? I don't mean banks. I mean like Austin Capital, private wealth management, this company capital, that company capital. Now, what do those companies are? Those are just like Todd Capital. And what they are, a group of investors where you're coming with your money so you can get some good interest. Now, what's the difference between them and Todd Capital? Todd Capital has you at different amounts. You can come in $25, $100, whatever. The housing side, I think it's $500 or $1,000. But when it comes to those capital companies, you have to bring $50,000, $100,000, or even more to get those same 18% returns, those 15% returns, those 20% returns. And that's what people don't realize. Like, if you're not in the game, you're not getting all these deals that people are thinking you're gonna get. Right now, you have Chinese buying up North Carolina. There's somebody saying something out in China. Right now, Apple Mac said in China they got a whole new city they built empty because people cannot afford it. That's right. It's true. Right now, they have Koreatown blowing up in Houston. If anybody's from Houston in the comments, please let me know that you've seen Koreatown in Houston. Please let me know. Or if you're in Dallas or Carrollton, or did you just see the Korean festival they did in Carrollton? And when I say Carrollton, I'm saying Carlo. They did it in Arlington, but essentially that's where that Koreatown is. And it was a whole Koreatown event with like 50,000 people showed up. So that meant they still had people at work, and then they had people who showed up for the event. But you got to think about that. These people are coming, they're working together, they're buying. That's why I'm always encouraging investment groups and buying money together. Trent Davis said, I'm from Houston. It's true. Thank you. Go. You can even Wikipedia this. You don't have to believe me. You don't have to believe people in the comments. Go Google Koreatown in Houston on Wikipedia and you can see for yourself. I don't have to make this stuff up. I know it. I know it because I'm in investment groups and the people that are in there, they working together. And it's not just cultural, because when I was in the apartment investing group, you had Haitians, Africans, and some Asians all working together to buy this one apartment complex. Now, any other day of the week, just to be honest, I don't think those people would talk to each other. They saw each other on the street, they wouldn't speak to each other. But when it came to that money, when it came to buying that apartment complex in Dallas, they were talking to each other, and money is green. Money is green. Is your money green? Last time I checked, my money was green. So, don't get it twisted. Okay. Gloria Mitchell, Carrollton, Texas is blowing up with Asian businesses and restaurants. It's amazing. Trent Davis, word. Boom. Thank you very much, Miss Gloria. Look forward to speaking to you tonight. on our consulting call. So, and another thing which you guys aren't really realizing is, look at, oh God, there's another city I'm trying to think of. I can't think of it off the top of my head. Darn. There's another city I wanted to name, but I can't name it off the top of my head. But if you look at what they're doing, they are buying up everything. They're buying up land, empty land lots, raggedy homes. They're buying up, oh, I'll take that too. I'll take that too. They'll buy up a $30,000 building in the hood, clean it up, and later rent it out to somebody else. They'll do that. They're not worried about that. See, people want to go somewhere else and spend all their money to be on the shiny side of town when money is green. Money is green. You just have different challenges. If you go on Bigger Pockets, prime example of being in the marketplace and not listening, not waiting on the sidelines, but being in the marketplace, creating streams of income. Lisa Phillips, I want you guys to definitely check her out. She talks about affordable real estate, buying $30,000 homes. I have been in the game long enough, and I'll say 5 years. I'll just say it for the sake of argument. 5 years, Bigger Pockets, people clowning her, talking shit about her, talking bad about her, saying she's buying crap houses and crap returns and the war zones, and just bad mouthing her because she had this program and she bought multiple $30,000 homes in the hood. And guess what? Now, 5 years later, the tables have turned. All last year, they were like praising $30,000 homes is where it's at. Investing in the hood is where it's at. Yeah, she did a good job. I'm like, no. Y'all was bad mouthing this woman 5 years ago, and ain't nobody memory that short. I remember that. You know what I mean? Greetings from North Korea. What? Looking out. But that's the key. That's really the true key. Many people are overlooking the hood, overlooking these places, and that's part of why I'm working with Hood Estates for this real estate mastermind course. Because they have a system in place. They have 30 or plus more homes or something like that with their company in the hood. They have a system, a way for people to pay weekly if they got to. They work with those people because they know there's money there. Those people have to have someone to live, and that's the truth. Just like Friday said, I'm actually taking her monthly class now. Very informative. Boom. There you go. And I think a lot of people gave her crap, and they owe her an apology. There's especially one guy, Ben from Ohio, who, and the reason I'm calling him out like this is because he was talking trash about her because he's in Ohio, and the trashy houses that are in Cleveland are different from the houses she's paying in the South. They're Virginia, South Carolina, Georgia. They're a completely different thing, different animal. Check out Paula Pant of Afford Anything. She came back to Atlanta after traveling for 3 years with the shirt on her back, and then within 5 years, she had 11 rentals. And guess where she was investing? All up in Atlanta. She had 20 grand. 20 grand house that was in perfect condition almost. Just need to be updated. And people were just like, oh my gosh. But y'all will spend 20 grand on new cars, 20 grand on other stuff, but you won't trust. And I get it every week. I get an email from at least 3 people. Erica, that's risky. That $25 you're asking me to do is so risky. You're like, boo, are you for real? You spent $25 probably at Starbucks this week. You spent $25 on some hoagies this week. You spent $25 at Jersey Mike's this week. Like, let's not get it twisted. Let's not act like I gave this $25 and I'll never see it again. It's the end of my life. I don't understand it. I don't understand that. Trent Davis said University of Houston is buying up land in the hood. Every university within the grasp of my voice in the United States is buying up land in the hood. I did an article. I don't know if I published it or not. Did I publish it? I think I did. Or it comes out Friday. Talking about Clemson and the area around Clemson. I did the video on it where all these people are crying wolf. Oh, Erica, they're horrible. They're buying up all this land. And the interviewer goes, well, how did you get this house, ma'am? Well, my grandma died and left it to me. Okay, well, have you done any repairs to it? No. How long you been living here? About 10 years since my grandma died. And they ain't done nothing to it. Nothing to it. And then they want to complain that the city is the laws, the gentrification. You inherited a house. You lazy. You ain't did nothing to it. Come on, boo. I want to be on your side. I want to fight for you. I want to fight for people who are trying to win. But it's hard to fight for people trying to win. They won't even take care of grandma's house. They won't even buy new blinds. Come on now, that's crazy. Big J Rebel, I'm down to do these programs. Where do I sign up? Big J Rebel, which program are you talking about? I think you're talking about Lisa Phillips' program. Trent Davis, there's a street sign in Koreatown in Korean. Yep. I mean, right now here in Austin, Texas, you can go on, what is the name of that street? Goodness. You can go where there's a Chinatown in Austin. You can Google it for yourselves. But they literally have Chase Bank in Chinese words. Like, the Chase is up top, but they have Chinese words on it. Then they have this other bank, and it literally called something of China. It's the blah, blah, blah Bank of China. So what are they telling you? They taking that money, putting it in that bank. Mom Dukes back home is going to that bank, getting that money, and doing what she got to do. In reverse, if you want to be honest, in reverse. The first time in my life I saw 3 homeless Asian men in Austin, Texas. I was like, what the hell happened? Y'all homeless? But I have a feeling I know what's happening. Same thing happened in Fayetteville, Fort Bragg. We had a brothel, and these young ladies were brought over here from another location, and they don't have good English. And if they won't do what you tell them to do, then they put you out. And so I'm just saying, I think that's what happened to those men I saw. Cal's Need. I think I've heard you say this before. You're buying houses in Rocky Mount for less than $5,000. Friends and family. At first, now they asking how I found them. Oh, I'm sorry. The screen's going up. Little Miss. Yes, they won't maintain the property and get behind on taxes. Oh, yeah. And the woman was able-bodied. Let me get it twisted. If you are 78 years old and your body's breaking down and you're getting old, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about that woman in that article that was clearly 45 ye's old, got a house from her grandma, and had to pay no mortgage, no rent, and her only job is to pay her property taxes. That's it. And live and pay her utilities. That's it. And she's complaining that Clemson University is buying up everything in her backyard. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, woman? That's crazy. Lovely Goddess, they have that here in Houston too. Thomas Jackson. Thomas Jackson, we have to do a separate video on that, on wholesaling and all that good stuff. Can't do it while I'm driving. Okay, Lovely Goddess said same thing in Houston. Big J Rebel, I've just put money into my savings and that's it. Oh, well, Big J Rebel, if you got the book, baby, you already know where to put the money. There's lots of places to put the money. Big J Rebel, you can read the 16% Solution. You can read, get the tax lien course. You can put your money in tax liens. It's like a forced savings for maybe 6 months to a year. There's a lot of opportunities and different ways you can do this. But to me, the best way is instead of just sitting on money in your bank account for a year, like, I got some money in my bank. I'd rather have my money working. Every dollar needs to go to work for me. I remember I went and took somebody out to eat, and she was like, man, you eat out lunch all the time, man. You just do whatever you want to do for lunch. I'm like, yeah, that's what I do. I eat breakfast at home. I go eat lunch with people so I can be social because I work from home, and sometimes it's boring, and you have to design your life. And many of you want to have rentals. Many of you want to have passive income. But when I ask you, what are you doing to create those passive incomes or investing, there's like no kind of like, hey, we're doing this. So it's hard for me to know where to help y'all do anything, right? Even like today, the reason today I said drop $2 in the super chat is just to see who's got skin in the game, who's comes on this channel, who's been watching it. You know, we've got 1,000 new people. I think it's 800 last month and another 800 from the last month who are new subscribers, and they're new to the channel. So I don't know where you're coming into the channel at. I want to help you. It could be credit, could be credit, could be real estate, could be tax liens. Don't know where you're coming into the channel at. So it's one of those things. Lovely Goddess, I don't know where to start. What is your direction? Where do you want to be? Like, Lovely Goddess, do you want to own rental property? Or do you just want to have your money in notes? There's big difference in like owning real estate and note investing. I like note investing. I like taking $100 and I'm going to put it over here in this veterans business Then I'm going to take another $100 and put it over here in hedgeable. I'm going to take another $100 and put it over there. Because what does that do? That just helps it grow. All that's going to do is just grow. It's going to be over there working, and I'm going to be minding my business. I'm not going to think about that $100. It's going to be over there to the left, running its race. And at the end of the year, I'm like, oh, thank you, money, for putting 5% in my pocket, or 10%, or 15%. That's kind of how this channel works, and that's what we talk about in this channel. Not only ways to increase your income, but making your money work for you. And a lot of people think with this recession coming, they can just sit on the sidelines. If they wait, don't you worry, they're going to wait, and they're going to have all this money, and they're going to buy a good deal. And I'm like, why do that when you can get started? Trent Davis, I want to build a 12 plexes. Well, Trent Davis, you know, the thing I know from work from a guy in Georgetown, he bought it was like 3 acres. Was it 3 or 4? It might have been 4 acres. And what he did is he got it cleared off. You know, he got the permits and all that stuff, and got it cleared off, got the city to write off stuff. And he built a duplex at the first part. And then he got the bank to approve more, got another permit with the builder, built a second one. Eventually, he built a whole street on one side, because it was only small. It was like 4 acres that way, narrow, all the way down. Got the street named after himself, because you can do that. All the way down of duplexes, nice brick duplexes built by the builder. And how did he get that done? One building at a time. But that's his street. He owns that street in Georgetown, and this happened not even 4 years ago. So I mean, the possibilities are endless. You just have to be like, what do I want? If you want to build 12 plexes, okay, well then you need to go out and find a piece of land. Be really honest. Find a piece of land that's not crazy expensive. Buy it. If you have to sit on it a minute, do so. But find a construction or a contract builder who will do it for you. And y'all work out terms between the financing of the bank and payments. Whatever you got to do to get that taken care of. I mean, every question has a solution. It just depends on how you want to do it. Apple Max tax liens are almost 100% guaranteed to get your money back. Yes, they're backed by the government. The government is saying, you give me your money to keep my city rolling, and we will give you your 18%, your 12%, your 15%, whatever it is the county you're investing in. And that's why I'm always saying, get on that course. You'll love that course. Okay, calls me, said people have no clue. Spoke with a 40-year-old barber yesterday that has $800 in a traditional IRA and has contributed $40 a month. He says that's his retirement plan. Whew. Here's the thing. People don't know the house is burning. And what do I mean? If you are and let's be honest, I'm in my early 30s, so I always try to have grace on this channel. If you're in your late 50s, your late 60s, your late 70s, you got to readjust what you think retirement looks like for you. And what do I mean by that? I mean, you got to say, I'm going to have 5 to 10 grand, whatever your number is. Let's say it's 5 grand coming in every month. Throwing money, and I'm just being careful, throwing money into your IRA, just your retirement, like $40 a week, is a plan. It's a plan. But I always say, what's a 5-year plan we can get you on? What's a 10-year plan we can get you on? Does that include rentals? Does that include note investing? I'd feel a lot more confident if that barber was taking $1,000 a month, because he can probably make it, and put it in a note that's going to pay him 12% interest, 20% interest, lending club, something, where money's always coming back to him. And he only barbers because he wants to. Now, one of the way a barber can make more is they own a location, rent out the barber chairs, and kind of become a manager. But not everybody wants to do that. I've met barbers and salon girls who are like, I just want to worry about my own thing. And that's where you have that book, The E-Myth Revisited, comes in, because they know that's the way for them to make passive income, is to get a salon and get to rent out the booths. But they don't always want to do that. Lovely Goddess, definitely grab the book here, Smartphone Millionaire. You can always grab it on Amazon or in the links below, or you can learn about buying notes from our previous videos on this channel. I've got tons of videos talking about how to buy notes. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Apple Max talking about a guy in New Orleans. Look up Memphis Invest. If you guys are watching this channel, a great group to look up is Memphis Invest. His sons, all they've known is real estate, to the point that they're talking about real estate, which is funny. They're talking about it in their 40s, but it's like your daddy built that house. You're just in it. They're Gary V's. That's what they are. They're Gary V's, and at this point, they're just maintaining the house. But it's called Memphis Invest. You got Chris Clocher. I've actually learned from underneath those people. Chris Clocher and his sons. Chris Clocher is one of the most popular son. You'll see him out front. He has the darker hair. There's a brother who has a shaved head. And what's funny is this brother has tried to separate himself from real estate and tries to be a personal speaker. Like he tries to be like a personal speaker. And you're like, oh, where do I know you from? Oh, your daddy owned Memphis Invest. Hundreds of houses in Memphis. And now they're owning houses in Dallas and Houston. Turnkey company. They're actually a turnkey company. And now you're trying to be a public speaker. But really, you're working off the back of the house your daddy built. Let's just be honest. And there's nothing wrong with that. I want Erica's kids, my future kids, to be like, yeah, my mom bought all these properties in Texas, but I managed this. I don't mind that. That would be cool. So Marion says, thanks for the video earlier on federal investing. I know my 5-year goal, working on low A expectations. Thanks, Erica. Thank you. But that's the truth. I mean, a lot of people, what's your 5-year goal? There's always this book. It always talks about, if you can't tell me your 5-year goal, you're already there. Straight up. Like, if I ask you what's your 5-year goal, and you're like, you already there. If you ask somebody that's working at Starbucks, where's your next job? They already there. They're in that location. That's where they will be. Right there. If you ask somebody what's their retirement plans, well, I think it's going to be maybe, 10 years, 15 years. Like, they can't give you no answer. They're going to be working. They're going to be working. And something I personally do is I have various journals. I have to go back and throw some of them in the trash and rip them up. They got a book full of ideals. I was like, no one will have these ideals. So I rip them up and I throw them away. But I can't use them. So what I do is I'll go, what does 5 years from now Erica look like? And what does 10 years from now Erica look like? Now, I've always said I'm going to be well-traveled. I'm going to go to Europe. I'm going to do this and that. And I started working the plan backwards. And I was like, oh, Erica, you have to actually go to Italy this year because you've been saying this. And now you're at your 5-year mark. Crap. So I end up looking online on like NYC to Rome. It was $500 flat. Now, many people aren't even doing that. Now, what do I mean by that? I don't mean travel. I mean, they're not holding themselves accountable to create something, to be creating income. So, I mean, I don't want to make this too long. I'm going to get off here because when it gets to about an hour, a lot of people won't watch past an hour. They watch these kind of in the background. So I don't want to go too long. But again, how do we start creating passive income? I've got plenty of courses on it. You don't want my courses? Go check out some other people's courses. You want to go check out Lisa Phillips buying $30,000 homes? Do that, man. $30,000 homes, where is that? You want to go start building a Rolodex of people in your town and your places? Do that, man. Go check those people out. Start getting out there. Have a Rolodex of people so that when I had someone reached out on me on LinkedIn, hey, we're a wholesale and flipping team in Killeen. We want to reach out to you. That made me feel great. Why? Because that means I'm being effective and someone knows I'm serious about investing in real estate. That they would take their time out to try to search me via the LinkedIn. And again, if you're watching me on this channel and you are not on LinkedIn, you are missing out. You should not be specializing in Facebook. You should be specializing in LinkedIn. There's many people say, well, Eric, I want to be a real estate investor. How do I find motivated sellers and motivated buyers? LinkedIn. There are people making 6-figure jobs. And just like you and me, when the economy starts turning, they want to get their money to do real work. The last couple apartment investing seminars I've been to and housing investing seminars have been all immigrants and all high-income earners. Now, what do I mean high-income earners? I mean engineers. I mean tech people. I mean people who are like, let's get it moving. And what's interesting is I meet a lot of people who are high-income earner couples. They just go buy a rental. They're like, dude, I bought a rental. Great. You can buy as many as you want. You guys are a higher income bracket. If you're a lower income bracket, that's why we're talking about getting creative and having creative financing. You dig? So, a lot of people are relying too heavily on credit and not heavy on, okay, what does this business do? What does this business sell? And how can we make more money? Dude, Jermaine Ellis, I've already talked to him. Yeah. Jermaine Ellis, here's the key about Jermaine Ellis while we're on this tip about creating passive income. Jermaine Ellis moved already. He moved once, but guess what he was doing? He was Uber, lifting, door dashing. He lives in California, and he was living well enough for the past 6 months to him to be traveling. He's done traveled to Israel. He's done traveled over to Europe 3-4 times. But what was he doing? He was working his little butt off. He was door dashing. He was doing TaskRapid. He was doing a lot of good stuff. And guess what he was doing? Investing his money. If you watch his channel, peep his channel, he had this screenshot of Robinhood app. He had 15 grand in there. You know, you got to make more money to put the money somewhere to get it invested. Now, I know he likes investing in FANG stocks. I'm bigger. I'm always on monthly dividend stocks. I always want some money coming back in. I want a peer-to-peer lend. I want people paying back. Period. But he's a prime example of a young black man who is not in a corporate America job, making 5-6 grand a month from YouTube and driving and all that stuff, and was able to take 6 months off just because he wanted to and go do what he wanted to do. Eye-opening. Yeah, it is. It's totally eye-opening. So that's my key with you guys. I'm always saying, if you get the income up, this other stuff, 80% of most people's problems, and I'm careful when I say that, but I'm going to say it. 80% of most people's problems I'm seeing is lack of income. You know, I remember one time I was like, man, I really got to get my tooth. I got to pull my tooth. Oh, I'm so nervous about it. And the company was like, it's $50. And when she said it in a smart ass tone, I was like, hey girl, watch yourself. But I went and got it pulled, right? So the thing of it is people won't confront. What you won't confront, you can't grow in. And if you know the recession is on the horizon, and I'm just saying it like this, if you know the recession's on the horizon, what are you doing about it? Are you getting more trades? Are you getting more skills? Are you investing more? Are you investing more? You know, I love that you're watching videos, but are you investing more? Even if it's $25, look out a hedgeable video. I'll put the hedgeable video out when I get to DC. I'm like in the edges and stuff, like out here in this traffic. But hedgeable, you can even start with $1. So when people tell me, Eric, I ain't got no money, Eric, I ain't got no money. You ain't got $5, bro. You ain't got $25. You ain't got $100. You gotta get to work. You gotta figure out something. You gotta adjust your W-4. Something ain't right. Something gotta get right. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere in this equation, something's off. And you gotta figure out what that is. And how do you figure that out? By making a bigger goal. By saying, this is the goal. This is where I'm going. Here's 5 years from now. Here's 10 years. Erica, it's year 5. What did you say to yourself at year 5? Okay, Erica had to pay for, I literally signed up and paid for a personal trainer to work me out when I get back to Austin 3 times a week. I literally went and paid for a flight. I just like, pay for it. You're going to go and you're going to like it, right? But what happens is people don't hold themselves accountable, and they'll find a reason. Well, you know, I can take that $500 and buy more dresses. I can take that $500 and do something else. No. We said we was going to Italy. It's been year 5. Hold yourself accountable. We going. You know, you said you was going to get a personal trainer. Pay for it. You're getting it. You know, there has to be some line of accountability with yourself. Lucky for me, I actually pay a business coach. I know some of y'all pay some coaches. But the thing is, who holds you accountable? If you say, Eric, I can't afford to pay anybody, cool, that's no problem. But write your 5-year plan out. Write your 10-year plan out. And when you say, this is where I want to be in 5 years, like, be really, get down to the details. I want to be whatever it is you are. Married, kids, 2 kids, 3 kids, a house over here in this neighborhood. How much does this house in that neighborhood cost? Like, get it down to the details. Because when you start seeing it, it's in your face. You know, people make fun of people's vision boards, but I'm not talking about vision boards. I'm talking about actually writing down who it is you will be when you get up in the morning in 5 years. Who is that person? Can you look that person in the eye? Is your kids going to be proud of that person? Are you going to be proud of that person? People perish for lack of knowledge. People, I think, also perish for lack of vision. They don't know where they're going. They just kind of coasting in life. Don't do that to yourself. If you're on this channel, that's not you. You know you are where you're trying to go. We just got to get you there. So, I'm going to roll out of here. Last call for alcohol. Somebody hit that $2 bail for me today. I appreciate all the super chats you guys did. Somebody did $10. Thank you. You're awesome. Somebody else did $2. Thank you. I appreciate y'all, because that shows me your commitment to the channel. Even if you don't buy a book, even if you don't buy anything, even if you just watch, I appreciate it. I thank you for your service. I thank you for taking the time to watch videos that are going to improve your life. Because you could be somewhere watching Real Housewives of Atlanta. You could be somewhere watching Cake Boss. You could be somewhere watching Jersey Shore. You know, whatever. You could be somewhere doing something else. So I appreciate it when you come. I appreciate it when you watch the channel. So I am Queen Said. I am getting so much insight and from you, the commentators. Very appreciate it. What's the best way to build capital? Rewind the video. We basically talked about, thank you, Mr. 68 Gates. $2 bill. Thank you. Whoop, whoop, whoop. How to build capital. Honestly, people always focus on the credit part, but not on making more money part. You can just do what Jermaine did. Make more money. Take that money and put it where you need to. ZZ. I live in New York City and don't own a car, despite having a 6-figure career. Co-workers think I'm weird, but I think they're crazy because they're the ones of the few cities where you can get by without a car. There you go. I mean, listen. Hey. Listen. You know what you need to do. You're in New York. The taxes are crazy. Cardi B said, what are y'all doing with her money? What you doing with her money? Cardi B won't lie. I believe her. Y'all taking all her money in New York. But here's the thing. How can you fight some of that? Have a business. Have an LLC where you're taking off some of your losses. Have some, now year 4 or 5, it needs to make some money. Or they're going to make you write it off as a hobby. But at the end of the day, you confront that 4 years down the road. End of the day, take that extra money they're spending on a car and you throw it in investments. So, ZZ, it's such a great way to make money in investing. Flipping on Craigslist, true. So, we gotta. So anyway, but you guys, that's it. That's it for the day. I just had to share that. I think that's it for the day. I think we'll be done. The rest of this road will be on the road. I might give you some Instagram clips of the restaurant we're going to, the places we're going to hang out at. But ZZ said he's deducting 25% off this high rent. God bless y'all up there, because it's you know what I mean. But here's the thing. You know how they say if you make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. I see people who come down from New York and they look exhausted. They're like, oh, thank you, Jesus. Cut on the rent. The key is, yes, if you make it in New York or California, you can make it anywhere. But the key is get where you can make it. Get where you can make the money. So anyways, you guys, have a great day. This is your girl, Erica, from the Classy Climb blog. You've been on the road with me. Thank you for being my road dog buddies. I appreciate all the super chats. You guys have been amazing. Hit that like button. And I love you guys. Have a great day.